What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Spyro 2. In the last episode, we finished the game. And in this episode, I'm going to tease you a bit more. When you go into your guidebook after beating the game, what's that down there? These are skill points. Skill points are basically the developer's way of saying, hey, good job for beating the game, now for a bigger challenge. In random levels throughout the game, or a set amount of levels, but it seems random, there are different things you can do in the level to earn skill points, which is basically an extra life. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the skill points just to show you where they are, because you do indeed get something for it. So say goodbye to the completionist door. We won't be going there yet. We're just going to go from level to level and get all the skill points. Starting with, over in the Summer Forest, the first level where there's a skill point is actually Idle Springs. And I was actually wrong in giving my hint throughout the Let's Play, because every time there was a skill point that I knew of, I gave you a little hint as to how to get it. As for the one in Idle Springs, I kinda screwed up in which idol you were supposed to jump on.
Spyro.
Over here, this is the idol I was thinking of when I said, hey, try to step on the idol. It wasn't the one that you had to feed fish to, it was actually that one over there. So let me go ahead and get in the proper position to go ahead and jump onto it. This one I actually haven't done before, which is why I thought it was the bigger idol, because that was the only one I can think of. Nope, it's actually this one. So let's go ahead and hover. Oh, so close! Second time's the charm, and over here it seems a bit closer. So, yeah, I got this. So listen for this. That's how you know you've gotten a skill point when you hear that little chime. So let's go ahead to the next level. The next one is actually in Colossus. And this one is kind of annoying. The Colossus skill point, you actually have to win a game of one-on-one hockey, 5-0. You have to get a perfect hockey game. And this, it's not exactly hard, but it's really, really easy to screw up. This is actually the second time I've had to do this one, just because, I played through it the first time and I got to 4 points, and then the red guy scored on me, and that was the most disheartening thing. And then the second time, when I reset the hockey game, he somehow had 1 point at the beginning of the game, so I had to redo it again. Thankfully, if you just flame him enough and just get the puck every time he has it, the skill point is yours. So, moving on to the next level. The next one I'm going to head for is actually in Hurricos. So, let's go ahead and go. The one in Hurricos, I actually did give the correct hint here. You have to get every single windmill. You have to destroy every single one. That includes all the wooden ones and all the metal ones where you need the supercharge with. I didn't get this the first time I was here just because I wanted to, keep all these skill points a secret and just to see if anybody would take the hint. And, no, based on what I've seen in the different comments and how there's no, video responses showing people beating my times, it was just hints. I'm not really that shook up about it because I was eventually going to show you all the skill points. I think the skill points are actually kind of one of the better ideas that I've seen in games today, because it's actually legitimate secrets until they give you the hint saying, hey, if you're good, well, why not head for skill points? I mean, you may have gotten one throughout the entire game, maybe you heard that chime and didn't know what it was about. And then you have to go around trying so many different things to unlock all the skill points, which I can't imagine trying to figure some of these out. I mean, some of them are obvious, like, breaking all the windmills. That can be seen, like sometimes you'll get bored and you'll just destroy windmills just because. So eventually you'd figure that one out. But some of these are very obtuse. I honestly wouldn't have thought of some of these. And if you do die in this level, the windmills don't reset. Yeah, I figured that one out the hard way. I accidentally jumped off a cliff. But for this one, you do want to, complete everything. Defeat all the enemies you can, stop all these giant windmills because you're going to want to be able to get on them. Because there's one windmill that is way out of the way and you just have to, grin and bear it. And enjoy watching me act like a fool and not get this my first, second, but third try. And now for the last windmill. Again, these do count towards getting the skill points, so you do want to destroy these. I do like the idea of skill points being, kind of like the PS1 equivalent of, PSN trophies or Xbox 360 achievements. It's basically bragging rights when you find all the skill points. And, again, you do get something for completing all these skill points, besides, an extra life every time you do it. And now I'm missing one windmill. And this is what you do want to do in Hurricos for all the windmills. Just search every nook and cranny, because eventually you get the skill point. Awesome, 41 lives. Let's go ahead and move on to the next level. The next one is in Aquaria Towers. And this one is one of the more obtuse ones that I mentioned just a bit earlier in Hurricos. This one, I wouldn't have thought to do. What you need to do in this level, and what I would suggest, is defeating all the enemies you can and go ahead and fill up the entire level with water. Once you do that, go to the Super Flame, and your challenge for the skill point is to destroy all the seaweed. Yes, that piece of seaweed was part of the skill point. So as soon as you fill up the entire level with water, the entire level is now accessible, and you can go destroy all the seaweed. Most of it is around metal sharks, which is why I said you want to, defeat as many enemies as you can. Check every nook and cranny, just like the windmills, and you should be fine in finding all the seaweed. Because, as I said, it's mostly near robotic sharks. So, just look for those guys, flame them, destroy them, and then you should be able to get the seaweed, which can only be destroyed by the Super Flame, by the way. Or Fire Blast, whichever I'd like to call it. I believe there's about 3 down here, but just to be safe, destroy all these sharks. There's one. And I love how it breaks into, little, Lego pieces. There's the third one. And now we get to move on to... I wouldn't say it's the jerkish part, but it's certainly a lot of ground to cover. You guessed it, the rest of the seaweed is actually up in the Aquaria Towers town. Up here, and you have a lot of ground to cover. Luckily, the seaweed kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's easily missable, so aim more for the bottom than anything else. Thankfully, you don't have to talk to anybody to get any of the skill points, so that's very nice. You just have to destroy stuff, mainly. I love how much destruction is needed for all these skill points. And that was the last one, and I didn't have enough time, so you need to go back, recharge, and get that skill point. Believe it or not, I didn't know about all the skill points when I started this Let's Play. I actually had to do my research to figure them out, because I would have never guessed to destroy all the seaweed and eventually get the skill point. So here's the one for Aquaria Towers. You actually have to catch this one. And see you in the next level. The next one is the Ocean Speedway. Every single speedway has a time you need to get under. This one, however, is one of the hardest skill points to get. Ocean Speedway is very, very picky when it comes to its skill point. You have to do it exactly like this, as how I'm about to show you. If you don't do it this way, chances are you're going to be a few seconds late, which normally happens. I think you have to get a time under a minute 10. You can get it right on a minute 10, exactly a minute 10, nothing more. But you can get all sorts of less. So if you have your own strategy to go through this speedway with a lot of time to your name, you will be golden. I mean, if you can get it in a shorter time than I can right here, by all means, the skill point's yours, you deserve it. This part is the most difficult part. Figuring out finally how to get all these boaters and still have enough time to go get the drivers was maddening. This took me about a half hour to finally get. So many retries just to get all of that. And now, the drivers. Always supercharge towards them, because you will catch them faster, because, one's coming towards you and you're going towards it, it's going to catch up faster. 3, 2, 1, boom! A minute 8. Skill point is ours. So, another challenge, if you can beat that time, feel free. It's very difficult, though. Thankfully, we're done with that one, so we can move on to the next one, which is actually a boss fight. You need to go into Crush's dungeon. Yep, there is a skill point in here. What is it, though? Defeat the boss without getting hit. With Crush, this is a joke, especially when you know all his attacks and how to dodge them. So like with these energy waves, nothing to it. And then of course when you flame him, you just gotta run out of the way, and he hurts himself. It also helps that he doesn't have a lot of health, which is very, very nice when trying to do this, because this takes a while. All the bosses do when trying to get, a perfect on them, just because they have so many hit points and you have to deal with animations like this, where Crush actually has to hurt himself. And this fire is a lot easier to dodge than I made it out to be. Because, check this out. Fire. Fire. It's very easy, as mentioned before. Crush is the easiest boss that I've played in a while, and actually you can't flame him when he's going over to a new pad. You do have to be patient, which is another reason I don't like getting this skill point, because it just takes forever. Thankfully, though, things start to speed up and become more hectic when he's down to 3 health, because now he'll start chasing you after he hits you, and he does the 3 attack thing. Again, very, very easy to avoid. He's gonna come running towards you now. Nothing new here, just keep on moving. It actually helps more to go into like a curve like I was doing, like doing the outside of the actual level. That actually helps to where he can't get you. That I found. I mean, it might not actually do anything, but it seems to help me. So one more hit. Let's make sure he doesn't hit us, because, again, it is so disheartening to have 1 life left on the boss, and he hits you. So disheartening. And I'll explain how I know that feeling of disappointment. Alright, Crush is done. Now he just needs to defeat himself, if you would please. It comes down, and then you listen for it. Ah, another nice skill point. Excellent. So those are all the ones in Summer Forest. It's time to move on to Autumn Plains, which has a few more skill points. I'll be sure to show them, because that's the only reason this video exists, is to show you all the skill points. Believe it or not, Skelos Badlands is the next place we're going to. This one has 2. One of which I already got. And to be honest, I didn't know that one existed. See, a lot of these skill points, I knew about the ones in the Speedway. Those ones are pretty obvious, and the ones for the bosses I did know about too. This one, I kind of knew about because, as a kid, I would do a bunch of random things in my video games. I would destroy everything, because I'm a completionist that way. So, your mission in Skelos Badlands is to destroy all the cacti. That's it. You just need to do that throughout the entire level, destroy all the cactus you see, and there you go. There's a skill point. And the other one is actually the one I accidentally did during the Let's Play because I didn't know it existed. Defeat the 4 cat bats up there at the end of the level here, which I'm about to go to, actually. Skip all these guys. It's actually really, it feels really good to actually just go through the levels again and not have to do, any orb challenges or anything. My time is strictly for skill points. Having to just fly through the level. You don't have to defeat anything anymore, except if the skill point calls for it. I actually thought I could get this skill point again, just to show that it is indeed a skill point. But after you've gotten a skill point once, you can't get it again. But that's all for the cat bats. And getting rid of this last one gives you a skill point. Up to 45 lives. Off to the next level. The next one I'm going to get, the closest one, is actually in Metro Speedway. Again, Speedways have a pretty predictable pattern on how to get their skill points. For the Metro Speedway, you have to get it in under a minute 15. So another speedrunning course. This one is probably the easiest apart from Canyon Speedway, which I won't be showing Canyon Speedway because I've already gotten it. You have to get Canyon Speedway in under a minute 10. I'll be sure to, let that be known when we get closer to that level, actually. But this one is another really easy one as long as you follow the route they want you to. So the route is pigeons, bungee jumpers, stop sign men, and the arches. After you get all the pigeons, you're right in the territory of the bungee jumpers, so then you need to get rid of them. Again, nothing to it. I've already half a minute, and we're going pretty smoothly. When you go through the arches in this way, you'll eventually run into the stop sign men, which you want to get rid of now. Because if you get the arches and then turn back and try to get these guys, you won't have enough time. So you kind of have to pull double duty, like I was doing in Spyro 1, actually. Sometimes I would, get 2 accomplishments at a time. But nope, just got to get the arches. 3 more and we've got plenty of time. 2, 1, and finished. Plenty of time on the clock. So again, under 1:15. That actually took 1 try, which I'm very happy about. Every time I get a Speedway skill point and I get it on my first try, it's very good. The next one is in Scorch. This is another one I didn't know about, because it's so obtuse. As I've said before, you really have to do the stupidest thing to get skill points. Right here, you see these trees. Charge them, and down falls a coconut. That's your skill point. You need to find all the trees and knock down the coconuts. I wouldn't think of that. I mean, I know I've kind of ADD when it comes to games like this when I was younger, but I never thought to do the trees, because it just seemed like a little added detail that they would drop coconuts. So, kind of weird that this would come up. And I actually didn't know, when I looked up a little handy guide to figure out how to get these skill points, I thought you had to super flame them and completely destroy them. I didn't know you had to, just charge them and drop the coconut. That's my error, because I read the guide wrong. So you're going to see me kill almost every single enemy in this level just to get the super flame power up, which I don't even need. Now I'm going to go back and hit all the trees, and then I realize as soon as I get to this first one that you don't have to. And by the way, the reason the super flame there is so powerful, it's the equivalent of a flame and a supercharge. That's why it's so powerful and why you can break through a bunch of different stuff with the super flame. So now that I've done that, over here with all the monkeys, I did it to all the monkey trees just in case that it counted, but apparently it doesn't count, so you don't have to do all this buffoonery that I'm doing. But as soon as you get to the last one, the skill point is yours. Next level is actually in Fracture Hills. This one will probably be one of the most annoying ones you have to get, because of this right here, the Supercharge course. You have to complete this course 3 times. No messing up. No running into anything. You have to complete it in essentially 1 supercharge. So once you get to this part, you have to quickly curve in and go through the supercharge again. Don't try to go over it, because chances are you'll hit a wall. You just have to go through this course 3 times. And this is another one that took me forever. It took about 45 minutes to finish this one, just because I kept running into the stupidest things, like an Earth Shaper in the way. I actually ran into the Supercharge power-up a few times. Yes, you can run into that. If you don't go completely in the middle where the magic is, you can run into the Supercharge, and it is so aggravating when that happens. But luckily, with enough perseverance, and using the analog stick, the skill point is finally yours. The next one we have to deal with, the next closest one, is the Icy Speedway. This one didn't take too long. You only have to get it in under 1:15, which, just like the Metro Speedway, isn't too difficult, but you, again, have to know the pattern. The way they want you to get all the obstacles is cavemen, skaters... No. Excuse me. Cavemen, arches, skaters, and monsters. That's the order they want you to get it in to get the fastest time, because it just goes in order like that. What you also have to do in this level is pull double duty with the skaters and the sea monsters, because if you get one or the other, you won't have enough time to get the one you didn't get. So right here, the arches are finished up, and now I need to get the skaters. But also at the same time, while going for the other skaters, get the sea monsters. Trust me, you will not have enough time to go get the sea monsters after getting the skaters. You have to get them at the same time, just so you have enough time. But please, if you do have a faster method than this, show me. I would love to see it. Another sea monster. Alright, there's the end of the sea monsters, and the end of the skaters is right here. It would be cutting it a bit close to give you a minute 10 to finish this, which is why I'm glad they gave you a minute 15. So, thankfully, that one didn't take too long. It took about 3 tries, because I had to get the pattern down. Now for one of the funnier skill points. Check this out. We're actually going into the boss fight with Gulp. Yes, you have to finish this perfectly, and that in itself is one of the hardest skill points to get, defeating Gulp with not getting hit. It is a mean skill point, but that's not the one I'm going to show you here. The one I'm going to show you is actually hitting Ripto. After you hit Gulp twice, the Skelos Badlands Pterodactyls will only send you rockets. You know, the little zippy things that you have to spit. That's the only way to hit Ripto. So, grab one of these, aim at Ripto, and they do fire a bit higher than where your reticule is. So, just aim a little more properly, and Gulp the entire time will be trying to hit you, so I advise do not try to get the perfect run and this one at the same time. Because as you can see, it doesn't exactly work. Or maybe some people would be a better player than I, but I just found it's easier just to focus on one. So after you shoot a rocket perfectly aimed at Ripto, there you go, skill point is yours. So I'm having a little trouble with Gulp, so why don't I finally show you what's in the completionist door. If you get 100% in every level, what do you get? Magic. No timer. You get to keep the Fire Blast power-up. This is now your default flame. You get the Fire Blast. You can take it into any level and use it. This is a fantastic prize for getting 100%. But it's also good in Fracture Hills. I've already told you how powerful the Super Flame is. It can destroy doors, it can destroy impenetrable chests, and it can also destroy Earth Shapers. It is doomsday for these Earth Shapers. They are mine. The interesting thing about this level is, after you destroy all these Earth Shapers, and since you can in one hit now, you don't have to wait on the head bash. After you have the Alchemist walk through his course, which, by the way, after defeating all these Earth Shapers, you can just stand there and let him finish the course, and then Hunter will be free. But after he's free, you'll start the next challenge and immediately win. So that's really refreshing to finally destroy all those Earth Shapers. Let's go fight Gulp. The Super Flame power-up makes Gulp a joke. This was the boss where I had him down 9 pieces of health, he only had 1 piece left, and he hit me. That was the most disheartening thing, so I got fed up and just decided to go get the Super Flame power-up and show you what it does now. Spamming on something they give you for being good at the game, I have no shame in. Gulp is gone. Now this is where I would show you Canyon Speedway, but since I've already done it, remember, finish it in a minute 10. It's time to take on the last skill point, defeating Ripto perfectly. This is the hardest skill point to get, bar none.
Spyro,
just because he has so many different attacks, he can gain different attacks with all those orbs, and, he's a little light on his feet, so he's really fast, too. Thankfully, you can just spam the Super Flame, and he goes down in no time. Phase 1, at least. Phase 2, he's a bigger target, so it makes it even easier just to spit fire at him, and he can't do anything. He's absolutely defenseless. This isn't to say, as soon as you have the Super Flame power-up, that it's easy. Trust me, it still has a bit of challenge, because when you hit Phase 3, he can now, you can't just Super Flame him in a direct line. He actually gets to move now. So this is where you would have to worry, and if you get hit once, you have to start the fight all over again, which is why I decided to do it with the Super Flame, and, not just my own cunning at this game, because it would take forever. Get hit once at this point in the level, you have to start the whole fight over again, and let me tell you, that is the worst feeling. just when you're about to finish it without getting hit, he hits you. Worst feeling ever. So I just decided to, go out in a blaze of glory and just absolutely obliterate Ripto. And can you imagine what having this infinite super flame and then being equipped with flying super flame, does that equal like Armageddon right there? Like Spyro gets an Armageddon spell and he's absolutely destroying Ripto with the power of 1,000 gods destroying the world. That would be pretty cool. Spyro has the power of Rapture now. And he's heading behind the castle. This is the only reason you should be afraid, is because of those homing attacks that he has. But after you finish it, you get the final skill point, if you decided to go in the route I did. And you do indeed get something for all your hard work. And I had never seen this before, because I've never finished all the skill points before. So let's go ahead and see what you get. I love the Super Flame. So let me check the guidebook. Epilogue. Press X. X. Oh, wrong button. Okay. Oh, that was a quick loading screen. Okay, I've never seen this before. Oh, gulp. I thought I killed you. Okay, that's pretty funny. It must have been that one Earthshaper that was tapping his feet. Awesome! We took Ripto back as a toy. Oh no, Hunter! You fool! Not the robotic sharks! And moneybags. This'll teach you to swindle people. Oh, this one makes sense. Okay, I can see it. All the secret agents. Oh, good. The Eskimos finally got to their hockey game. Nice. Duck Chef finally has a purpose in life. Hot tubs. Aw, Spyro, dude, she's over there, buddy. 1 + 1 equals duh. Ah, play on words. I love it, Insomniac. Let's see. Faunus mortis. So the dead animals. Are these... Oh, cool! These are unused enemies in the game. So Cat Batus, Farme Robotum, Druidus Schnickum, I guess. Varmitum, Larzadum Fatslobe. I can't believe that enemy's a trash can over there. That's hilarious. Mr. Fistus. Whoa, Insomniac. And the Armapillo. The nervous Tickus, so a nervous tick. The wuss. These are really cool. Oh, that's awesome. Just being able to see what enemies didn't make it in the game. That's really nice. At least I'm assuming what that is. You'll see something on screen if it's something completely different. So that is it for Spyro 2. But there is one more thing I have to show off. Besides the fact that if you want to see all the skill points, turn to the next page. Oh, thank you for that. Well done. Thank you very much. So this is one thing I do every single time I beat Spyro 2 with 100%. And this will work for any copy. I don't know if it'll work on the PSN copy, but if you want to try it, feel free. Go ahead and save your game with the Super Flame power-up, the infinite one that you have. Go ahead and exit whichever level you're in. This might take a little bit of finesse, but it's totally worth it. And then exit the game. Again, be sure to save before you do this. And be sure to quit the game. If you reset the game, this won't work. You have to quit the game. So starting up the game again, that is still hilarious, by the way. Go ahead and get to where your original data was, the game you were just playing with 100%. Go to New Game, and overwrite the game where you had the Super Flame power-up. Again, it's totally worth it. Go ahead and skip all these cutscenes. It takes a while to be able to skip them, but after a few seconds you can press any button and skip them. Come on, come on, come on. So much loading. Go ahead and skip that. So what have I just done to your game? If you know anything about programming and temporary data, you know exactly what's going to happen. You get to keep the Super Flame! You can play through the entire game again with the Super Flame power-up. It is absolute chaos now. These lizards don't stand a chance. This was the greatest thing when I was a kid and discovered that I could do this. And now I know, being older, the temporary data on the disc has been saved. So once you overwrite the game, it still thinks you have the Super Flame. And now you can do so many things with your Super Flame power-up infinitely. You will never lose this flame, just as long as you save. If you don't save, you will lose it. That is disappointing, but if you just save and do everything that I've done, do it correctly, you can save this and use it through an entire game. Just consider this New Game Plus. So now you can do things like this Glimmer Challenge, where you originally needed, learn how to climb. Now you don't have to. You can do it in the method I showed you in episode 1, or you can do it like this. And it works all the same. You'll actually be teleported up to where that mouse is. You can also finish Fracture Hills your first time through. Yep. The Earthshapers don't stand a chance again. You can just absolutely destroy them when you go there your first time and finish it. I think the only level that has a problem with you can't do it 100% the first time is Shady Oasis, because you do have to head bash those baby hippos out of the cement. But this is the greatest feeling in the world. Being able to play through one of my favorite games again with ultimate power. And after you do this, teleports you up here and you're able to get this orb early. As well as everything else early. This is the greatest thing. And if you want to play through the entire game again and see how fast you can do it, it also works on bosses. The exact same thing happens. You just defeat them in just a few shots and they can't do a thing about it. Alright, so I kind of screwed myself out of that, so I can't fly and get the rest of the gems, but as far as Spyro 2 goes, that's everything. That's everything that I have to show. Again, I can't stress enough that you need to save before quitting the game so you can keep the Super Flame power-up. So, that is it for Spyro 2. That is everything I want to show, and that is everything I can show. So what's next? I don't know, I'll think of something. So, until the next Let's Play, this is the Niskel signing out!